shit.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Cole, DC, UPenn's finest, Chris Culture, CB Culture Boy. We got another great episode for you guys today. We are going to be doing our NFL award predictions, plus our playoff and Super Bowl predictions, because the season starts 2 days from when we're recording, and then when y'all see this, it's going to be the next day. Chiefs are going to be hosting those Ravens. So the season is here. The offseason flew by, especially when you pick up other sports like basketball and women's basketball and baseball. But yeah, so before we get into the episode, just want to remind you, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you're listening to this on audio platforms, leave a 5-star like and review. But yeah, outside of that, Danny, might as well get us started.
Yeah, I'm gonna get kicked off with my summit of the week. Is that this weekend I bought a new phone. Got the 15 Pro Max. Verizon gave me $1,000 off, so pretty hype.
Yeah, one thing Danny's gonna do is find the deals, dude. It's like he makes good money too, but when you find the deals, it's crazy.
Yeah, it makes $1 go 5 ways. So,
you know what I'm saying? Danny, we can hand it one slice of bread, and he'll figure out a way to feed 18 people.
Yeah, and there's no negatives this week. We're going to Atlanta on Saturday. Steelers Falcons week 1. You can get, some people might consider that a negative that I'm seeing the Steelers and Falcons week 1. I think it's going to be game of the week though. Actually,
it's sneaky game of the week, like super sneaky.
Cardinals Bills.
Yes. It's time. Josh Allen, Kyler Murray.
Last time they played, you don't remember what happened?
That was Hail Murray, right?
Hail Murray.
That I wish that would have stuck better because that goes hard. And then that was
it stuck with me.
That was crazy. DeAndre Hopkins, that was like catch of a lifetime. And then, Murray breaking the pocket, breaking some sacks. Yeah, that was a nutty play.
That was better than all three of Rodgers.
I don't know because the one did. I don't know.
He was rolling left. He's rolling left, and he threw that.
Rodgers did the same thing though. He actually did it twice on back-to-back plays. Jeff Janis had 100 receiving yards on one drive. It was nuts.
He had up more than 100.
Yeah, because they guided up to the 50. They had the penalty, and then he got the other 75 or whatever it was. But it's so funny that Kyler Murray is just not the ideal quarterback, in terms of stature, obviously. And then Josh Allen is this is what your quarterback should look like. And they're both top of the line quarterback play. So I find that pretty interesting. But yeah, you have no negatives. I guess we can go to Chris, who is back. Had to take last week off, but rightfully so. Birthday week is much needed.
And I'm washed now, so that's why it took me more time, because I am washed. It takes time to recover to do everything now. I am now washed. If you look at me today, and you look at Damian Lillard, his age 31 season, that's me. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that is me today. So that I'll start that with my summit. My birthday was last Tuesday. I turned 31, which was cool. Had a party here. In my house. I got my DJ equipment for my birthday, which was really cool. So I'm going to be making some mixes soon. I'm really excited to start doing that just to F around, because that's just what I do. And went to Benihana. I mean, not Benihana. Went to Saki. My favorite food is hibachi. My favorite type of food is hibachi. So I do it every year for my birthday. So was really gassed about that. So that's my first summit. My second summit. Excuse me. My second summit is that NFL starts this week, which I know Tom already spoke about. But it's a summit and plummet, because why does my team have to go up against Patrick Mahomes in the first week? I just don't understand shit like that happens to me.
Get it out the way.
Regular season Ravens are going to get it done. They're very real.
That is the problem. That's the problem. I hate playing them too early. Why can't we just take whatever's going to happen in this game? Rashad Bateman, anytime touchdown, plus 400, y'all. You should get it. Breakout year 2, I called it. But yeah, I'm just excited to watch some football soon. My girl's like into football now, and she's picked a team. She's a Falcons fan now. So Danny, you'll be going to see her her team. She's a very big Kirk Cousins fan. Thank you, quarterback on Netflix. So just excited to kind of kick off football on Thursday and then kind of go through the weekend and see some cool matches for the first week.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. My week has just been absolutely awesome. There's no plummets to be said. I mean, Summit is that Penn State, despite a 2.5 hour delay, got the win on West Virginia. Even me and Danny were talking before. While the scoreboard doesn't necessarily jump out against the unranked West Virginia, Aller looked great throwing the ball 15 plus yards, which I was obviously very critical of, but he looked awesome. Run game was strong. Big Zamboni was dicing up the defense. Huh? What's up, Chris?
When did Micah Parsons get back to the Penn State team? Because that dude who wears number 11, I'm not sure if that's his twin brother or not. But
listen, we have to win the Natty. I think you should just mind your business. Actually, we have to get things done. Kate. But yeah, the run game was strong. Defense looked great, and after Aller and the offense started extremely slow, they held up their end of the bargain. So yeah, I was very pleased with that. We won't talk about Texas A&M. They're banished for the week for gaining all the momentum and then losing it just like that. And Temple's out here wasting jet fuel, but just flew down to Norman for nothing.
They need to go. They need to go take a bus back because it's not. They're not worth the jet fuel.
Back, except John Adams. Jamar Taylor Jr. Get on that private jet, guys. This isn't on you.
Get ready to learn Philadelphia Eagles. They need a slot receiver.
Yeah, it was just like that. That was just a mess. I can't get a good gauge on this team yet, but in
other news of Philadelphia sports, though, I will say the Philadelphia Phillies, they are considered to be back.
One would describe it as back. One would say that.
So that's what a homestand does for you in Philadelphia. 22 games above 500 at home, not on the season, at home.
Yeah.
They are the Celtics of the MLB. They win all of their games at home, and they play just above average ball on the road.
We were not an average team on the road. We lost 18 games. We lost 20 games on the season. 21 games. Apologies. But
I mean, the Celtics are obviously better, but like I said,
they're more like the 2023 Celtics though, because they're a lot more frustrating than this year's Celtics.
Yeah, I agree.
The only thing frustrating about this year's Celtics is that Jason Tatum just thinks he's Kobe with the game on the line, and that's all. But
it's hard to be consistently non-frustrating in baseball.
Yeah, because they play every day, so like winning can build up fast and losing can build up fast. But
yeah.
What I wanted to say, though, for the other summit is the Liberty. Here's the thing about being a Liberty fan that I learned very fast. We steamroll everybody. So things don't get interesting until the playoffs. So your mind wanders elsewhere. The Indiana Fever have a winning record for the first time in like 8 years.
All time.
Like winning record. Like they couldn't crack that once. That's ridiculous. And obviously, Clark being the initiator, being the team's best player is huge, but I mean, like, I would be doing a huge disservice if I didn't mention Kelsey Mitchell, who's been on an absolute tear scoring the ball and being efficient, and she learned how to pass the ball a little bit. So her within like the last 10 or 11 games, there's only been, I think, 2 or 3 teams better than the Fever. They're sitting at 3rd, I believe, in the East right now. So shout out to him. Shout out Angel Reese, most rebounds ever in a season, I believe, for anybody.
Ever.
Which is that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I don't care.
She chases boards, but she might be a more rebound merchant than Russ when he had his average triple-double.
She's the thing, man. She is what, 20?
Will not be tolerated only because you have to be
I'm a Russ fan.
You have to go get it. You have to go get it.
That is true. And that's the thing about Reese. Even if Reese is smoking layups and getting her own board, she like just think about it from a physics standpoint. So she just jumped to lay the ball up. So when she lands, the ball's coming off the rim. So she's going right back up and getting the ball. Like She is
she got the grit. She has tenacity and grit.
She
but
her like I have to have it factor is like 99. Even for all right, she she smokes layups, whatever. That's gonna come with time though. I mean, for now, she's the league's best rebounder, probably or second to Wilson, but that's still phenomenal territory.
and who
So
smokes
I'm
more,
proud.
Martavis Bryant or her?
Martavis Bryant for sure. But yeah, shout out to Angel Reese. Very proud, very good rookie season she's having. Obviously, good job to Clark and the Fever as well.
They're going to be the big three that the WNBA has been missing since Chelsea Gray's been hurt. It's going to be Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Caitlin Clark. It's going to be the big three. And then since they're not, they're a little better than I thought they were going to be last year. I mean, this year, I thought like they can get a top 4 pick again, like just somehow be bad enough. Not even getting Paige, not Paige. It's just so many good players coming out next year. They'll be dangerous. They'll be hella dangerous.
Get ready to learn frozen envelope, buddy. get ready to learn David Stern, Patrick Ewing, buddy.
Don't worry.
Paige, you're going to Indy, man.
No. This was gonna happen. They're gonna be like, I see what Clark did with Boston. Paige, pack your bags and get ready to learn Windy City Bulls, baby, because you will be with Camila Cardozo, Angel Reese, and Chindy Carter.
I saw the stupidest thing on Twitter. They were like, at some point, they're going to have to choose between Reese and Cardoso. I'm like, why in the world would they pick them 3 picks apart if they were eventually going to have to choose between them?
They don't know ball.
Was the point not to get like eventually the best front court in the W at some point by drafting those two?
Yes, because she's a 4, Angel's a 4, and Camila Cardozo can pass too as well. And obviously, if y'all can tell, like I know people who watch basketball probably can tell, she hasn't been playing basketball for her whole life. She's still like 10, 12 years deep into it. So in 2 or 3 years, when her touch gets better, all the skill stuff that you can teach, they're gonna be hell to pay. Both of them.
Oh, and then one more thing before we move on to the NFL awards. I saw that Nick Sirianni reached out to Jay Wright and Dawn Staley for advice, I guess, about coaching in the city. I'm like, dude, you couldn't have asked 2 better people. Like, I just thought that was so cool. Because the last season ended horribly. People are discussing the synergy between Hurts and Sirianni, which I've seen clips from training camp. They seem fine now, but like, I just think that's so cool, and that's the right way to go about it because Nick is seen as this, the super cocky, billboard Italian guy for the city. But I think that he still wants to be better. Whether he's not calling offense or defense, he still wants to find a way to have impact on this team. So that's really good for him. But just a reminder, Nick, we could win the Super Bowl. If Bill Belichick wants to coach here, he will be coaching here. You just know that. Bill Belichick, you would love Jalen Hurts. On every single episode, you will see me wearing some kind of hat, whether it's a snapback, whether it's a dad style hat. I always got to have something to complete the outfit. And the only place where I get my hats is lids.com. Lids.com has so many different brands, and of course they have a bunch of different styles. Like I just said, it could be dad hat, snapback, it could be fitted, it could be Velcro back. Whatever you want, they got it. And with the NFL season coming up, I know you're going to want to rock and represent your favorite squad. Me personally, I'm a big Eagles guy, and I love this 47 brand throwback hat that I got from lids.com. Or if you're more of a snapback guy, I also got this NBA champions Boston Celtics new era cap from lids.com as well. If you like either of those hats and you feel like you want one to represent your squad, click the link in the description below. Whether it's new era or 47, both links will take you right to lids.com. And the best thing about Lids, they always have some type of deal going on their website. So make sure you click that link and check out any deals they got going on at lids.com. Because Tom loves Jalen Hurts, so I don't know. But nonetheless, we can get to these NFL award predictions. Do you guys want to start from like
top to bottom
down?
Or bottom to top?
I mean, that's what she said.
Like, do we just want to start with MVP?
Start with MVP.
Start with MVP. You want me to go first? I don't mind.
You can go first.
You want me to go first? Okay. I want to back some logic up before I say the name, but I'm hoping this year the voters, I know they're still going to go quarterback heavy. I am picking a quarterback, but I'm hoping they see it from hopefully a value standpoint and not just like, oh, you 1 seed, you quarterback, you get MVP. Hopefully not that. Like, I think they kind of realize how like really dramatic they were being last year. Because this player, I think, is going to be on a wild card team, but I think he might have one of the best seasons of his career. upcoming. I'm actually going to pick Josh Allen. I don't think I've ever picked Josh Allen to win MVP before, and this could be like a here damn MVP, sneaky. But I think with the weapons he's going to have, Coleman, Shakir, Kincaid, these aren't like the hottest name. I mean, the tight ends are good, but these aren't the hottest names at receiver. So I think if he can find a way to win 11 games, get this team into the playoffs with the old battered defense that they have, I think we'll really start to see how valuable he is. I think he's going to be better than ever on the run game or on the ground because James Cook had a really good season last year. They figured that they can rely on him. He won't have to be the leading rusher, but he'll be an efficient rusher. And yeah, this is like more about like most valuable. And I think, and I wouldn't put it past Josh Allen to be the best performing quarterback in the NFL. So this is for one time and one time only that I will pick Josh Allen to win MVP. If he doesn't get it done this year, I'm just off the ship. The same with, I think I picked Luka to win it a couple years ago. He didn't win it. I'm like, I'm never picking him again. Like, I'm done. Luka might be a little more an exaggeration because he's like, 24, maybe just turned 25. But
Josh Allen's like probably relatively. Actually, Luka probably more years left. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, the way Josh Allen plays, yeah, Luka's got a while. Josh Allen.
I mean, he might find himself.
I don't wish anything on Allen. He's been a bit of an Iron Man, but I'm just saying
he might find himself as turn himself into like a Big Ben type of career where he like kind of slows down in the pocket. But aside from that, I'll get into my MVP pick while I'll let Chris marinate. So my MVP was an MVP frontrunner for the first 11 weeks of the season last year, until one game happened, and some would say he ran through quote unquote the gauntlet, and he lost all of his team, and then the Philadelphia Eagles went on the biggest downswing ever. Like I've never seen a team collapse after starting that bad. So not even the Pittsburgh Steelers when they started 11-0. So my MVP for the 2024 MVP season is Jalen Hurts, and it's pretty crazy because his season last year had everyone saying Jalen Hurts is the MVP, and he had people saying the tush push should be eliminated. He had people saying that the Eagles have now assembled the Avengers. So yeah, I think the Philadelphia Eagles, with the team that they've assembled, he has all the pieces and all of the weapons to get this done with Saquon Barkley, with Jahan Dotson, with AJ Brown, with Dallas Goedert, with Devonta Smith. And I'm not gonna lie, let Nick Sirianni get the play calling, and with new OC, that's gonna take over.
I like the pick. I picked Hurts last year, and I was almost right if it weren't for you darn kids. But like he was leading the league in turnovers, and he was still gonna win MVP. But
dude, he had six. If the last 6 weeks don't happen, if December doesn't happen, Jalen Hurts wins MVP.
I'll give you one even more specific. If they score touchdowns on those first two drives against the 49ers and it's 14-0 instead of 6-0, they'd be fine. They would have been fine, but that was just like super killer because they'd be up 14-0. I mean, like, you can start running the clock. They have the best run game in the league, so you're not forced to throw it as off. But
I think Saquon Barkley is going to be the biggest addition for this team. And people say how that might downgrade Jalen Hurts. Dude, it's going to only upgrade and make his life easier, and the pass game is going to open up just as much. So I'm going to take the guy who is going to make a lot of things happen.
Yeah, and from the clips I've seen, his knee seems a little cleaned up. It looks like he's going to be back to doing what he does best, and that's, as he says, getting freaky.
Get freaky
in the open field. Yeah. Now, I think Chris said in the chat that his pick is Tavares Jackson or something like that. But
I'm trolling. He's not my MVP pick this year because when I pick him for MVP, we don't win the Super Bowl. So let me not do that. But in reality, my real MVP pick wasn't Lamar Jackson anyway. I think he's gonna have a great year. This is kind of what he does. But I think,
if he gets voter fatigue, that does great things for the agenda.
That's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that they tired of him winning MVP, but he's not second to Mahomes. Then IDK. But bigger questions at hand. My pick for this year plays in Texas. Oh. His name is CJ Stroud. Indeed, it is.
And I know it wasn't Dak Prescott.
No, but Dak was
I consider
third on my list. Dak was
I
third on my
consider
list.
Dak. So did
I'm
I.
saying right now, if the Cowboys win 12 games, Dak's gonna win that shit because that means he had a great year too.
Yeah.
But that was my third pick. But I'll pick CJ Stroud. Y'all know I'm a big narrative guy. Last year, rookie of the year, elite season. If he steps up from that season, it's going to be a very, very, very good year. Say he revives Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs had a bad 8 weeks, I guess you could say. So now he revives Stephon Diggs. Now he helps Joe Mixon still do all things. Like, you see what I'm saying here? And if it all revolves around CJ Stroud and Will Anderson is the defender that I think he is, or that I know he is, and Derek Stingley is the defender that I think he is, I think this team, make a little bit of noise. And I think if they're making noise, CJ Stroud's leading it. I think he has a good chance of winning. Now, of course, it's a long shot because, I mean, who says he's going to even duplicate what he did last year? But let's just say he steps it up. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins MVP. Because I think the Texans, if he steps up, Texans will be even better than they were last year, which would be add maybe 2 or 3 wins on to what they had. I think he can do it.
Yeah.
You remember, I vividly remember when Deshaun Watson got drafted, they said, what are you going to do when you come to the NFL? He said, I want to win 6 Super Bowls. I want to win more than Brady, right? I think if anyone has a chance of winning winning Super Bowls for the Houston Texans, it is CJ Stroud. It was never Deshaun Watson.
Does anyone else? I would say, does anyone else have a chance with the Texans? I mean, unless Mahomes wants to go over there, but
no. I'm saying Stroud's chance to win a Super Bowl is much higher than Watson.
Well, I mean, yeah, Deshaun Watson. I mean, the team he had over there was just never good enough to win a Super Bowl. But this roster, as currently constructed, is good, and I think that's a great pick in Stroud. I also agree with the dark horse. Not even a dark horse, like Dak. Like, I was seriously considering winning the MVP. The only problem is if he loses, like you said, with narratives, like Josh Allen, it's fine for him to lose the division because the Dolphins have no business losing this division. Like, they just shouldn't do it. But if Allen can, just be a playoff team, once he gets into the playoffs, Josh Allen proves he can hang with anybody. He's hung with Mahomes, like, in the greatest playoff game I've seen with my eyes, at least. And then with Dak, it's like, but if Dak loses the division to Jalen Hurts, regardless of what the Cowboys team looks like, it's like, ugh, how can we pick you for MVP when, like, this guy's winning more games and probably playing better than you? Like, but I definitely consider Dak. I like the Jalen Hurts pick. Honestly, any top 10 quarterback, it should be good.
It's going to sound crazy. Sleeper pick for MVP is Justin Herbert. If he leads the Chargers to a playoff, he has more of a case than Josh Allen.
So my only thing with that is, I think if the Chargers make the playoffs, I feel like they're more destined to go to the Harbaugh Coach of the Year than Herbert MVP.
That's fair.
But I do see your vision. That's a good dark horse. The problem with him and Kyler, like, being dark horse MVPs, is like their defense would just have to figure it out.
Their team stinks.
Their defense, yeah. I believe in their offenses because they are the quarterback at the helm. I believe in them. I don't believe in because they can't play defense, unfortunately. And Max Melton's a good guy on the agenda team, but he's not changing the trajectory of the Cardinals' offense. Derwin James, a couple of knees later, and Joey Bosa is unfortunate. Like, I don't know if they can turn the tides of this Chargers defense at this point. But we'll see. I think we can definitely put down Murray and Herbert as dark horses. And
let's just not forget Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't pick Mahomes. I think that's just boring. That's just the boring.
No, not even boring.
I don't want to use up all my boring picks.
He is the greatest voter for
the second greatest quarterback of all time. I think as it stands right now, I think he's the second greatest quarterback of all time. But yeah, I mean, if Mahomes were to cap a third MVP, I mean, that's some uncharted territory, or not so heavily treaded waters.
I think in the next 10, if Mahomes gets one of those, another MVP or another championship, I think he passes Brady. In most people's eyes, and not in mine per se. But I think
the only thing really with me is he just has to start stacking. I think he does need another MVP, but he really just has to, like, play for a long time because he has to match Brady's end game stats. Because
he also needs more playoff moments. Like,
I mean, every time he's on the field, it's a playoff moment.
No, I agree. I'm saying he just needs to make the playoffs to keep winning, Because if you guys remember how great Brady was, he made the playoffs and he had a bye like 7 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
We are now entering Mahomes' 7th year of playing.
Yeah. So I agree. Like Mahomes, it's all about, just keep the course, because you're on the pace to be better than him. And if you win another Super Bowl this season, like we said on last episode, that's 4 Super Bowl MVPs. You already tied Brady in one aspect. So then now you just got to keep stacking them. But let's not be boring. We're just gonna we're gonna be boring to a point where we pick quarterbacks, but not boring to the point it's like, oh, we'll just pick the best player in the league. I'm genius. So
you want a baller pick Kyron Williams.
Yo, you want a super baller pick?
I'm kidding.
Pick Justin Jefferson. That's baller.
George Pickens, only receiver there. Learn ball.
But hypothetically, if Jefferson took the Vikings to the playoffs and they didn't give him MVP, I'm gonna blow up NFL headquarters.
Well, moving on to Offensive Player of the Year.
I went first last time. Let's go reverse order. Chris, who do you have for Offensive Player of the Year?
Ooh, see, now this is getting to territory of who y'all were just talking about. I have Mahomes for Offensive Player of the Year. And you know why? Even though it's a quarterback, I know it usually goes to position players. I think he's going to have a ridiculous year passing the ball and spreading it around to all those weapons he has. I think it's going to be like a crazy one. Even if Kelsey, quote unquote, takes a step back, he'll still be there when it matters. And I think Mahomes will spread it to Kelsey as well. But you got Rice, you got Worthy, you got every player who's ever ran a 4.2 or better on their team. I think Mahomes is just going to have a field day. So I would say, I know it's like not often that you get it to quarterback, but I think Mahomes gets it. He's my pick for it this year.
I'm looking for the last time that someone won. Like, there have been different winners for MVP and Offensive Player of the Year at quarterback. 2011. 2011, I think Rodgers won MVP and Breeze won Offensive Player of the Year. So it's not impossible. It's not impossible.
Unlikely, I know for sure. Unlikely,
and I definitely see what you mean too.
So I feel like if the fatigue is there for MVP, it's kind of like, and I use this example a lot. I think I used it when we was on with Coach Jenkins, like the one where Ja got most improved. Instead of that, they want to give him MVP. You can tell they want to give it to him, but he didn't do just enough. And I'm not saying Mahomes won't do enough to get MVP, but I think it'll be an award to give him because they give it to somebody else, like a Josh Allen, like somebody else in that realm. That's my reasoning.
I will tell you one thing. Last year, the 5 nominees were McCaffrey, Prescott, Lamb, Jackson, and Tyreek Hill. So there were 2 quarterbacks on the list.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, and they could run it like a I remember when Darren was in Little League, they would have team MVP and Golden Glove. It's basically MVP and then, next best player on the team, because him and Hankins just kept swapping back and forth, and then they stopped giving out the award. But yeah, that's how I could definitely see that playing out for sure.
Can I give y'all my sleeper pick too? Because I know Mahomes is the easy one. This is the one I really want to play. I think Bijan Robinson could be Offensive Player of the Year too. I think Kirk Cousins to a crazy way. I could see him getting 1,000 yards on the ground, 500 to 700 yards receiving. I could see it, and I think if he does that or tops those numbers, I think he could be a good pick. That's my real sleeper pick. But I went Mahomes. I think he needs some type of award. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's like Beyonce. It's Patrick Mahomes. you have to do something. So yeah.
No, I definitely see where you're coming on that one. Bijan, absolutely. He's a dual threat running back on a team that has a 34-year-old quarterback off the Achilles. They're going to run that ball, and he's going to find him a lot because the receiver remains strong over there either. But I could get down with the double quarterback pick on the MVP Offensive Player of the Year. Just want to say, poor Drew Brees. He's won Offensive Player of the Year twice with no MVPs. That's so brutal. I remember in 2018, he was having a stellar season. Ben Mahomes threw for 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards. It's like, yeah, you can't not give it to that dude. And
in
it's
your
like,
first
dang,
year,
Brees.
Yeah.
Your first year as a starter, it's like, oh, dude, poor Drew, man. He needed an MVP because he's that caliber of quarterback. He's Drew Brees was special.
Yeah, he was. Back to me.
But Danny, yeah, it goes to you.
What I would say is someone consider my Offensive Player of the Year one of the toughest players in the league. He plays in one of the toughest cities in the league and plays on one of the best teams in the league. And I'll let you guys guess before I say the name.
Is it a running back?
It's not a running back.
Okay. Oh, I don't know where we're heading with this one. And I won't. You say toughest cities. I'm like, I mean, are we leading like Derek? Oh, he's
Derrick
not a running
Henry.
back. Remember? Yeah, I would say he just said it's not a running back. So
Oh, shoot.
yeah. Ooh,
Zay
tough
Flowers.
city. Zay Flowers would be a crazy bet. Now I have no clue because unless you're going back to the Eagles and it's like you're gonna have MVP and Offensive Player of the Year, I'm like, how good is this team gonna be? Don't say
No,
George Pickens. I'll stuff you in a locker.
my offensive player of the year is Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think that he has all of the goods to get this done. I think he's gonna be playing on the 1 seed in the NFC. That I think that the Lions have all the goods to win the Super Bowl this year. I think that they made defensive upgrades. I think that they have the coaching and the offensive coordinator who is one of the best in the league. And they're going to feed their guy. And their guy is Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta. So,
yep. Yeah, I think that's a great pick. He could very well walk away with this award. I agree. So, yeah, I don't have much opposed to that. Another year of Ben Johnson. Yeah, he could probably have an even better year than last year. So, with my pick, I'm between two people, and I'm going to go with just the better player. I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson. Now, the Vikings aren't going to be impressive by any metric, but Calvin Johnson almost cracked 2,000 yards on a bad Lions team. I think Jefferson could he can put up a performance similar to that because I obviously think he's quarterback proof. I think he's on a trajectory to be one of the best receivers in NFL history. An offensive player of the year, I hope they don't make it related to winning. Like, don't do that. Like last year, it just so happened that the two real candidates for it, Hill and CMC, were on winning teams. I hope they don't do that because I think Jefferson's going to have a stellar season. Addison, I don't know what the situation is for him. It just seems likely that he won't be suspended, but he's also hurt. And then, TJ Hockenson won't be back for a couple weeks. It's just going to be the Jefferson show, and I'm all here for it. My other pick, and it probably might be a little more sensible because he is a better quarterback, is CeeDee Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be cool with one of them, but I have to pick one. I can't be that guy. I'm just going to rock with Jefferson, who's probably going to be the tougher pick. He's the better player, but Lamb is more likely to walk away with the better stats. But yeah, dying on the
Did y'all hear that Jamar Chase might not be playing because the owner is actually too poor to pay them out?
Why doesn't he ask Joe Burrow for some money?
So basically, when he might have to get a loan from the bank to pay Jamar Chase out because he is the only owner in the league that isn't like a billionaire because he inherited the team from his dad.
Joe Burrow owes Jamar Chase money anyway, so he might as well just pay him out.
Yeah, he might as well pay up, let him live under his roof.
Literally.
That's not to say like that, Burrow is of course still elite, but we'd be lying if we said he's in this territory without Chase. It probably just takes a little longer. But yeah, I mean, you mentioned Chase. Chase could be one. Chase could be one for sure. I wouldn't even say sleeper. I mean, Chase is arguably one of the 5 best receivers in our league, and when he's healthy, one might say he's arguably top 3.
I will argue top 5 100%. I'm 100% arguing top 5.
The only reason I have him at 6 is just because the guys in front of him have just been healthier. That's pretty much it, though. If you were to argue, my CD top 5 is Jefferson, Hill, and then these next are like interchangeable. I don't really mind, but I have Brown, Lamb, St. Brown, Chase, Adams.
No McCaffrey?
No, I don't have Luke McCaffrey in my top 7 receivers.
No, I thought you meant Christian. I thought you meant your offensive player of the year. Right.
Oh, no. I can't.
If he was saying top 5 receivers, he would have said Bateman right after Jettis. That's okay.
No, I would have actually said
Zay Flowers and then Derrick Henry as a receiving back.
Ooh, cook it up.
No,
I know they're going to drop 2 to 3 passes.
I would have said George Pickens actually, which in the darkest horse possible, like Matt Black horse, George Pickens. If I'm just saying, I don't really have much Steelers prop nowadays, but like, if Wilson could get him the ball, I don't know.
Or if Wilson can get the fuck out the way and let Justin Fields give him the ball.
You know what's
Well,
crazy?
Justin Fields is on the field. No one's getting the ball.
Kenny Pickett, his stats last year, he was ranked below the worst starting quarterback in the league. He was like the 40th ranked quarterback. He was worse than eight backups. How is that possible? How are you worse than 8 backups as a starter?
My brother, welcome to the 2009 quarterback room for the Baltimore Ravens. With Kenny, If Kenny Pickett would have fit right in, he'd been like QB2.
QB starter. He's starter. He's starter.
Literally. I lived through it. Trust me, I know, Danny. I know.
So that rounds off our offensive player of the year picks.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to the defensive player of the year. Chris, like we said, probably kicking it over to you. Let's see if you stay in Texas again. I'll start. I guess it's third award.
Because we both already went first, so it's your turn.
Yeah, I'll get it started. I'm gonna stay with the same defensive. Actually, I believe I picked T.J. Watt last year. I might have picked Micah Parsons, but I'm going Micah Parsons again with the Dallas Cowboys. I think he's one of the best players in the NFL, and this is gonna be what Tony says here, damn award, and he's only year 3. He is one of the most talented players in the league. He is constantly on the ball. If you watch the Cowboys defense, they get energized the better he plays. And they just kind of have this like mentality. If he gets a sack on like third down and he'll just like, it's like a dog chasing someone down, dude. He like the way he attacks a quarterback is like a pit bull chasing like a squirrel or something.
I could totally get behind that.
You know what I'm saying? Like he just has a ferocious mentality of going after the quarterback. Like he's not slow, he's fast. He's like this hybrid backer, and he has all the pass rush moves. He's on a great defense, and dare I say, he's going to put up a 20-sack season this year.
Yeah, I say might as well get mine out the way because I also have Micah Parsons. Last year, I think he was, in terms of edge rush, in terms of defenders in general, I thought he was only second to Myles Garrett because Myles Garrett was just that Browns team. It was like absolutely ridiculous. I think he should have got some MVP love, but he kind of, I want to say fell off. I mean, like base metrics, yeah, it fell off back half of the year, but advanced metrics, Garrett is a darling. Parsons is absolutely a darling when it comes to the advanced metrics, and that's up my alley. And not only is he on a great defense, he is the great defense. If you were to take him off of this Cowboys defense, you have
they're average.
You have the double move biting corners, and then you still got some pieces on the D line and the front seven. But Parsons, of course what makes this thing roll, and he's arguably just the best defender in the league. So yeah, just wanted to get my pick out the way. Penn State legend Micah Parsons, who's doing double agent activities, currently playing for Penn State and then playing for the Cowboys. Small price.
Before we get it over to Chris, let's just talk about how the Giants are a failure in organization because they had the 10th overall pick in the draft, and the Eagles were at 12, and the Eagles traded up to 10 to get Smitty, and then the Cowboys took Micah Parsons. So the Eagles and Cowboys, perfect picks, great picks, and then at 12, the Giants traded out. Fields went, I believe, and then they got Kadarius Toney.
That sucks, man. And one would say, like, a lot of people still debate this to this day. It's like, wow, like the Eagles passed up on Parsons, and it's like, yeah, Smith's great, but like this is Micah Parsons. It's like, well, Smith is like good enough to where like, okay, it's fine. Like we can admit like Cowboys ended up getting the better player, but Smith's fine. I have no problem. This isn't like a Jefferson.
It's like Luka Trey. It's like Luka Trey.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Respect.
I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. It's like, yeah, Trey is great, but it's like, oh, you think
it is Luka.
Luka.
Yeah, you much.
That's why I try to explain to people. It's like, look, Trey is awesome, and like me and Chris, we are the commander in chief. We are in the commander in chief of Trae Young FC, but like this is Luka. At some point, you got to cut your ties.
I love Trae Young, but dude, I think Smitty's better than Trey.
In their respective leagues, see, it's hard to say. Football has so many positions. I don't want to do that, but they are very similar. I will say the undersized, skinny for their position. I could say. I
Equivalent.
I guess.
Okay. What's the
And then,
NBA equivalent? What's the NBA equivalent of AJ Brown? That he gets to play next to.
I'd be like if DeJounte Murray did steroids.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're talking a lot of steroids here because AJ
We're
Brown
like
is one of
Gary
the
Bonds
finest
level
players in his
steroids.
position.
Bro,
I don't know.
if any-
AJ's
I don't know
a
if
weird one.
I don't know
AJ's
if any NBA players built like AJ Brown.
Like the
I
first
don't know
person
how
I
he
thought of,
feels,
the
like,
first
in
person I
public.
thought of was Zion, but like AJ's
Yeah.
obviously better in his respective sport.
Even in the sense of like that, but that's why I was going with that. But I'll give.
What was
Is
that,
he though?
Danny?
Is Zion
Yes,
top 5?
AJ Brown is better in his respective sport than Zion Williamson. You dumb fuck.
Zion's top 5.
No,
Zion
Zion,
top 5 power forwards
top
we'll say
5 people who need to get on Ozempic.
and top 5 power forwards.
Top 5 power
These to be
forward?
true. Giannis won. If you count KD as a power forward, KD.
Giannis, Tatum, KD, AD. AD's a center nowadays. Let's not do that.
Unfortunately,
Zion.
AD was center. That's what I'm saying.
No,
Ain't that many.
Zion-
That's what I said. Ain't that
Zion,
many.
yeah, Zion is tubby, and he's there by default.
That's my
And
boy,
he let
though.
me down.
I'm
That's
good.
my boy, but he let me down. He needs to get on Ozempic.
I love a good Zion.
Okay,
Let me
this
get my
is a little
defensive
bit crazy, but Zion was one of the best players in the playoffs before he got hurt. But
He
This
definitely
year?
was. Yeah.
He didn't make it out the playing game.
No, the year before. I think it's what you're talking about. I
He
know
didn't-
playing.
He didn't play last year because he got hurt
no,
midway through the year.
I'm saying that in that playing game, dude, he was
2022?
playing.
Oh yeah, he almost
so
took
good.
the Lakers lunch money. He almost made it all the way back, and then he hurt his hamstring.
Yeah, I wish he would have. But I'll get my defense player of the year. I like Michael Parsons too. That probably will be my pick. But I'm gonna pick one of my favorite players to watch, and that is Sauce Gardner. I'm a big Sauce Gardner fan, and I think this year with a better quarterback with the team, I know that doesn't have much to do with defense, but hear me out. Defense is on the field more when your quarterback sucks a little bit on the other side. So I think his numbers will look even better. I think he's shut down still. I know some things came out that he maybe wasn't as shut down with advanced analytics with how it looked. I'm a believer in Sauce Gardner and him being able to take players out of the game. So that would be my pick for defensive player of the year. Honestly, I had Parsons too in my head, but Sauce Gardner would be my second pick too.
Picking a corner is ballsy, so I respect you for that. And I definitely get what you mean, because here's the thing. When you have Rodgers on offense, you're probably going to be up more. You're probably going to force teams to pass more. Gardner's not really the one to get all the based analytics. Like, he's not going to get a lot of interceptions or pass deflections because you don't look at the guy who's being guarded by Sauce Gardner. You just don't do it. So I think he's the best corner in the NFL, so I think that's a phenomenal pick. If any corner is going to win it, it's probably him. He's probably going to be the only
my boy
one
PS2. If the Broncos weren't terrible.
Yeah, the Broncos are going to win -1 games. They're going to owe the NFL wins. That's how bad they'll probably
Hey, can I say one thing, y'all? Just before we move to the next thing, bro. There was a tweet. The tweet there everybody's talking about with Justin Jefferson and Anthony Edwards recreating the KG and Randy Moss picture. All right, so I was thinking about it. Like, I know basketball, football is the comparison, but imagine you could do not you can't, because obviously you can, but like basketball, baseball. Could you imagine Mahomes and Bobby Witt right now with Kansas City? I think that would be really cool. Or like just some stuff like that. I'm looking at stuff like that. Or even like that's another young guy I was looking at. Like say Jordan Poole was still in the Warriors. Or even Kuminga, Lawrence Butler. Like just stuff like that. I'm looking at more basketball, baseball. Because I'm looking at basketball, football. I think basketball, baseball would be cool too for those.
See, like as cool as that would be, I kind of hope
I think Mahomes is valid a little bit because he played baseball. I think he's a little more valid. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to, you could, Photoshop it to be baseball Mahomes and football Mahomes.
Right. That would be
But I kind of hope that kind of stays to like a Minnesota sports thing, because that's just so Randy Moss and Kevin Garnett. Just like, wow. And at the time, I'm pretty sure they took the picture. It was what? 04, maybe? If that was in 04, they were the best players in their respective
leagues. Yeah.
Well,
MVP KG.
Football was probably Peyton Manning at that point, but still, you probably have the best receiver in the league to that point, and then you have Kevin Garnett, big ticket, who was winning MVP and was deemed best player in the league by LeBron James, a 17-year-old LeBron James or whatever it was, or 04, he was probably like 19. But
that young fool new ball.
And then now you get all these years later, you skip over doing it with Karl Anthony Towns. Awesome. You wait for, the chosen one in Anthony Edwards. get Justin Jefferson. It's just so cool. I really like that those two decided to do that. I'm pretty sure Anthony Edwards probably told him that he's better at football than him. And Jefferson being the guy he is, he's probably just laughing it off. But you know how Anthony Edwards, like in the picture, he had the football. I'm like, I know he was probably talking mad shit while he was holding the football.
Dude, Anthony Edwards in his high school highlights, it looked like he's supposed to be a football player. Like just how he moves. Maybe how he moves on. Yeah. That dude, he was hella fast. For one, he was just hella fast and hella strong. But my bad. Got disheard.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think this one will be a little bit more of a fun one. I guess it's my turn to go first. The coward's way out would be pick Caleb Williams because he's the quarterback and he's the best one. I'm no coward. I'm going with the best player in this class. I'm going with Marvin Harrison Jr. He's an elite quarterback. He's the only the only receiver weapon on his offense. He's obviously going to have the most targets. He's going to have the most yards, probably most touchdowns. He's going to get the receiver triple crown. And I think he has a chance to touch Puka Nacua level numbers this year if Kyler can manage to stay healthy. You all know how I feel about Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's been pro ready for a while now. And yeah, I think he just has a really good chance, even as an X, to get these level of numbers. I also trust their offense to move him around a little bit, put him in the best situation to make plays. If they want their offense to be successful, they'll do that. So,
yeah, all I know is
with MHJ,
we don't have to hear Gus Johnson calling him Maserati Marv 24/7 on every single play.
I personally loved it. I wish he would call Cardinals games just for it. He also called the Penn State game, and every time we had a big play, he was like the big Zambonis drawing it up. I'm like, yes, sir. Yes, he is. But no, Gus Johnson's cool. Everything he does is cool.
I like Gus Johnson. I just think that
Maserati Marv is just like he debuted that against Penn State, I'm pretty sure.
He did. That's why I hated it. That's why I hated it.
I don't know why you hate it. That is a great nickname.
It
Maserati Marv. He's just the Maserati. It's goated. It's a great nickname. He earned that while Kyle McCord was his quarterback. Please respect it.
Kyle McCord looked good week 1.
He played Ohio. I don't care.
I mean,
we're giving flowers for playing Ohio. I can't believe it.
I mean, you gotta look good against somebody because DJ don't look good against nobody.
Who's talking about DJ? We are talking about Ohio State and Kyle McCord. DJ has the yips, dude. He's done. No, we were talking about Ohio State.
Worse yips than Ben Simmons.
Yeah, bro, it's bad. But anyway, I'll swing it to you for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Go ahead and make your pick, coward.
My Offensive Rookie of the Year is the best player in the draft class. The best player.
Oh, so you have Marvin Harrison too? Okay, never mind. I took you for a coward.
I have Caleb Williams. I have the generational talent. I have the prospect that's coming out of college.
I also picked a generational talent and the prospect. So screw you.
But no, I think that he is coming into the best situation out of any number 1 pick ever. Yes, I'm saying that ever. I think that his situation is the best situation out of anyone ever coming to the NFL as a number 1 overall pick. So I think that he has given all this tools to succeed, and he might be being held to a higher expectation than LeBron coming into the league.
Oh, wrong. LeBron said they told LeBron be the GOAT or you're a bust. Like
they said either be better than Michael Jordan or you might as well die.
Yeah, and I was saying not to bust Chris chops, but Chris was there.
Chris was there.
Oh yeah,
Chris saw it all.
I am old enough.
But no, I'll tell you something. Like people are predicting the Bears to they're like the Bears need to go win a playoff game year 1, or it's not.
You said before we recorded you predicted them to win a playoff game.
I think they can.
You are said people.
No. I think they can win a playoff game. I think they.
You said they will win it. No, you told me that they will win a playoff. You actually told me they were Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, I think they are.
Okay, so you are part of said hype. You are creating the hype for this kid.
I just think that people holding the accountability to that he has to do it in year 1 is crazy.
Well, if you expect it, then you should hold him to that standard. If you expect that, I expect the Bears to make the playoffs. So he has to do it, or the Bears season is considered a failure to me. I'm not saying they have to win a playoff game, but I think they should make the playoffs. I have to hold him to that standard if I think he's capable of it. I can't be like, oh, well, this in the offensive line, and Keenan Allen's fat, and Romo Dunze can't catch, and DJ Moore seems to only like catching passes from Justin Fields, so we're gonna have to send him to Pittsburgh. I can't make excuses for Williams. I think he's pro ready. I think he has the goods to do it. Now, if he meets expectations, of course, but he will be battling the expectation bug already in his rookie year.
That was my point. He has the high expectations. Maybe not as high as LeBron. Yeah. Maybe I exaggerate a little bit.
But if he doesn't meet his here's what I'm saying. If he doesn't meet said expectations, even if he does have good numbers, people are going to look another way.
I think it is another comparison, though, Danny, that you were close. I think the comparison is more Zion than Brian. And the reason I say Zion is because he was looked at as the guy. It was the number one pick regardless. And he was looked at when you go to this team, no matter what. I mean, obviously the Bears have a crazy system around them right now. But he was looked at like when you get there, you got to be the guy that turns this, that makes this all go. Yeah, so I think Zion's the better comparison. But I see where you're going with the Brown one. My offensive rookie of the year. Actually, I like both of y'all picks. I had MHJ and Caleb as far as 1 and 2. But a person I've become a big fan of over the last, let's say, 14 days, 2 weeks, it is none other than the Malik Neighbors from LSU. Now, I know he is playing with a quarterback who should be at EMCC at Last Chance U. I do know Daniel Jones is bad at football. I do know that. I do.
But bad at football is an understatement.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to be nice because I'm on a better. I'm feeling better these days. But I will say, I think the only rookie receiver that can challenge MHJ for that receiver triple crown is Malik Neighbors. Now, say Malik Neighbors gets 2 out of those 3 in that triple crown, which long shot, I get it. But he gets 2 out of those 3. Caleb Williams isn't Michael Jordan, who Chicago's expect him to be. I think it opened us room for Malik Neighbors to get that award. So he would be like a sleeper, I guess you say, because MHJ and Caleb are easily the top 2 picks to win off his rookie of the year. But my pick is Malik Neighbors. I think he's special. I don't say not as special as Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr.'s dad was special, so it should just pass down. But I think Malik Neighbors is a very, very, very special receiver. Better than Odunze. And not saying Odunze's a bum or nothing. I just think Malik Neighbors is that good. So he's my pick.
Yeah, and I get your knowledge here for sure. And the thing about Odunze Neighbors, I think Odunze's better, but like Neighbors is obviously in the better situation. Like Odunze could be wide receiver 3.
Yeah,
then, like Neighbors is already for sure wide receiver 1. I think the only thing with Neighbors is that he is like such the only weapon, or because in the preseason games we watched, like Daniel Jones was like clearly just waiting for Neighbors to get open. I don't know how much he trusts the other guys, even though there are some guys there. But I think that with his quarterback playing being as bad as it is, there might be some forced passes to the point where it might get bad advanced analytically. Like we're talking like drop rate and, catch percentage, things like that. Like how much of his targets is he actually bringing in and things like that. And again, his quarterback play is just bad. Like Daniel Jones for years, bad throw percentage has been bad. He turns the ball. The 1 year he didn't turn the ball over at an extremely alarming rate, people thought the Giants thought he was worth 4 years, $120 million. So
160.
Apologies. 160, which is nuts. But yeah. I don't hate the Neighbors pick though. There is a world where Daniel Jones could be like semi-competent and just get him the ball. Obviously, I'm gonna go Marvin Harrison, and then Danny's probably going with the logical pick and Caleb Williams.
Let's move on to.
But I guess we can transition to defensive rookie of the year.
A different rookie of the year, and I can get kicked off.
Go ahead.
So, with my pick for defensive rookie of the year is none other than Chris's favorite player, in Nate Wiggins, Mr. Hitting the Vape in the team room. I think that he'll be an immediate impact into the Ravens defense, which will be one of the league's best, as we saw last year. All they lost was Patrick Queen, which it's a big loss. But I think it's filling his shoes as Mr. Trenton Simpson. So I think that Nate Wiggins will come in and be an immediately plug and play for the Ravens defense and be the defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, I like that pick. I I was between two guys. I was between Jared Verse for the Rams, and I was between Nate Wiggins for the Ravens. And I think I'm going to fully go Nate Wiggins along with you. I think he's going to walk into the Ravens team. I think he's going to be corner one immediately. Alongside that, they're probably going to trust him with a lot of man-to-man things. Obviously, he'll have Kyle Hamilton in the box, and he's going to have a good defense around him. This is a defense that creates turnovers, and he's going to be a part of that if he even gets targeted, So I'm very excited for him on that defense. It's going to be like, best rookie on best defense sort of thing. But yeah, I'm completely down with it. I thought he was the second best corner in this year's draft. Behind Terrion Arnold, who I think could also get some consideration for this award, but I'm gonna go Nate Wiggins. So that makes two of the three of us going Nate Wiggins, and the last guy we have left is a Ravens fan. So I wonder which direction we're going here.
Yeah, bro. I came back so happy. As I walked in my room, I heard Nate Wiggins' name. I came back so happy. I said, you know what? These boys are all right with me. I tell you that. Y'all are good with me. But yeah, my pick is Nate Wiggins too. And it's crazy. I want to pick Jared Verse because Jared Verse is probably the rookie defender I learned the most about when we were going through the draft process. Like, just looking at doing research with y'all, like while we were getting ready to talk about draft prospects. He's probably the one I liked the most outside of Nate Wiggins, as far as like just what I know. But I think what Tone's reason is pretty much mine. I think he'll be the best rookie on the best defense with the rookie that matters. So I think that he's going to be the guy to kind of get it. And I think him being back there with Kyle Hamilton, even Marcus Williams, even though, terrible pectoral muscles, but when he's out there, he's out there. And Marlon Humphrey and Roquan, I think it's just a lot of names, a lot of people who've got experience to help him understand how to be an effective corner in the NFL, especially in the AFC. So, yeah, I think Nate Wiggins is my pick too.
And they got ex-Eagles DB coaching them.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And don't forget about rookie sensation TJ Tampa. He will get minutes. He will get snaps this year. I'm sure. That's my guy
for sure.
Yep. Yeah. The more I think about the Ravens defense, the more I'm like, dude, they're just gonna be nice. Yeah, like they're just gonna be nice again.
Trent Simpson season. Oh my God, I've been waiting for this for 2 years.
I did want to hold up while we are on the Ravens defense. Roquan Smith, you will be on that end of the year Defensive Player of the Year ballot. Trust me, you will, son. You are one of those ones.
I had one for y'all. I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to sound too much of a homer, but I think this is the Kyle Hamilton year. Not saying he's going to get Defensive Player of the Year, but I think he even takes a step even further. And because I feel like he's going to play more in the box, like more not alongside Roquan, but like closer, and going to have more Marcus Williams and I forget who just signed to the veteran. I can't think of his name right now. The other safety. It's not Byers on the Bears. What was the other safety we just signed? I can't remember his name.
Eddie Jackson.
God damn it. Yes, that's what I meant. So I'm sure Kyle Hamilton will play a little bit more up, and I think it'll help him get more tackles and more of the counting stats that we know. So I think Kyle Hamilton is poised for an even bigger year with with Pat Queen's departure.
Love that.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. But
Wiggins across the board. We all should start vaping.
Yeah, we're in unison when it comes to Nate Wiggins. No need to keep up discussion there. But comeback player of the year. Now, I chose someone who actually came off of injury. I don't know if y'all treated this like most improved or came back from being garbage. So that's kind of just, I don't know. I guess I can just go with my pick while we wait for Danny's camera to come back on. But I had Aaron Rodgers here. I don't know how many other guys you could really go with for this selection because he's coming off the Achilles. I still think he can be a top 16 quarterback, especially with Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall at his disposal. If he can come back and just be a Pro Bowl level guy, I think this is his award to lose, to be entirely honest. I just can't think of too many guys who are coming off of injury who could do what he could. I'm so sure Daniel Jones is going to get love for this if he can just keep his turnovers to a minimum. But dude, let's be for real. The New York media they'll put it out there. I mean, of course they're going to put Rodgers out there as well. The New Jersey media, I should say. But yeah, I have Rodgers. I can't really think of anyone else. Burrow is another big one. Burrow's another big one. I think I'm gonna lean Rodgers though.
You're also forgetting.
I think they'll feel for the hookah man.
They are. They will for sure. I think that I'm going with Aaron Rodgers too. I think that the Jets are going to be a playoff contention team, and like I said earlier in one of our videos, I think they win the division. But that's not the point right now. I'm going to bring up a name that probably going to be forgotten here is Nick Chubb. After coming up the pup, I think that Nick Chubb is going to be in prime position to win comeback player of the year, just because he had one of the most gruesome knee injuries, and if he can put up 1,000 yards or any sort of decent season after that, they're going to think he is like the Superman, which I think he's Superman already. He's already cutting 8 months post-op, so he's a god.
Yeah, I would say as someone who can like literally relate, I think you would understand on a harder level how crazy that is. And you kind of all with, Burrow, Chubb, Rodgers, kind of opening my. I'm glad. I think we're gonna actually have like a real ballot this year of
Yeah, for
guys
sure.
who are coming back from injury.
Yeah, it's not Joe Flacco.
Yeah, like we're not. I mean, Geno Smith can fuck around win it again, but I hope not, because he kind of started the like comeback player of the year, turning into like, oh, I used to be ass, but now I'm pretty solid. And then Joe Flacco won it. Joe Flacco, it's like Joe Flacco was a weird one because it was just like, okay, he's a random vet. This isn't like a breakout for him. It's just like, yeah, I guess he did come back in the sense of the word, but I'm like, did he come back to life though? I don't know.
I'll tell you
But
something.
like we will have that issue this year. There isn't someone who is like overly dramatic, more hurt than anybody else. You got a couple got Burrow, big wrist injury, Chubb, knee got dismantled, and then Rodgers, old hookah man, got his ankle snapped. We'll go to Chris.
I'll tell you one thing though. Anthony Richardson is one of the top in the odds for this board, and that does not make sense to me. How is a rookie going to win comeback player of the year?
I mean, I guess he got hurt, but like, I mean,
you
I
can't
guess
come back. You were never there.
Yeah, I mean, he did play 5 games. I think he's valid to be on the ballot. Valid to be on the ballot, in my opinion.
He's a higher case to win Rookie of the Year than he does to win Comeback Player of the Year.
Well, the thing is that he's not a rookie, so.
I know, but that's the Ben Simmons case. I'm going at.
The Chet Holmgren case, I'm afraid now. But
yeah,
Chris, who do you have? Do you have Burrow for this award? Oh, my fault.
No, but I like Burrow and Rodgers, those 2 picks. But I'm going with my guy with a lot of jewelry, couple heavy chains around his neck. Kirk Chains, baby. That's what I'm going with for comeback player of the year because he tore that Achilles too. He tore that Achilles too.
That is true.
And I'm saying this is my reason behind it. Just the same way I think Aaron Rodgers coming back to a team that's kind of lit. Y'all know I've been a Falcons fan since last year. I was just praying to get a quarterback. I was praying it was Justin Fields, but we got Kirk Cousins. I mean, they got Kirk Cousins, and I'm happy for that. And I think that team only got better after they did that. And I think they can put together a really good season, and if Kirk Cousins can do the 3,200 yards, 30 touchdowns, I think it's a case. I think it's a case for him. Yeah, so I'll go Kirk Cousins.
Quite possibly, could it be Kyler Murray? Sleeper pick.
I think they won't pick Kyler because he came back midway. Like he missed half the season, but that was like the first half of the season.
He only played December last year.
Still, though, he came back at the end of the year.
That's fair.
It's not like he's coming back.
I never realized that, Danny. That's until you said that
he
only played December. Damn.
He played like maybe 1 game in November, but he played like literally the end of the year.
He played like the last 7 or so games, which again, he's not coming off injury this year, so I wouldn't say he would count. But yeah, I think this year we're gonna have a nice, healthy ballot of guys coming back from injury, which is how this award works. And it's definitely not praising some old head for having a 1-to-1 touchdown interception ratio and then getting his ass spanked in the playoffs.
And then
that moves up to coach of the year.
You want to run it quick so we can get to our Super Bowl predictions, or
hey, we're not on no time limit here. We have a lot of things to go through. We have a lot of things to go through. So let's just go for the ride. Coach of the year. I think this is also a super healthy ballot as well. Me personally, I have Doug Peterson because I think the Jaguars are not sort of expected to win their division. I think a lot of people are picking them to be 3rd place behind the Colts and the Texans. I personally think the Jaguars will win the division. I think a lot of that will play into Peterson's coaching. It's going to play into Lawrence being Trevor Lawrence with, not broken ribs or whatever it was. I think the Jags are primed for a good year, and I think Peterson is going to reap the benefits of the success of this team. That, spoiler, I have them getting the 4 seed. So it'll be one of those type of coach of the years.
Yeah. I'm going to go with a guy who is a first-year head coach, who is one of the best defense coordinators in the league, and that's Raheem Morris. I think that he comes down and wins the division down in Atlanta.
I think that's a fine pick. Chris?
Damn it. I had Raheem Morris too, but I did have another backup. I had a backup plan. You
don't have to pick someone different because I picked
somebody. Oh, well, cool. Yeah. Well, my backup, but my other pick besides that, but Raheem Morris is my pick for this. I do want to say Raheem Morris is my pick. I was going to say Mike Tomlin, which is going to sound crazy, but the reason I say Mike Tomlin is if he can do that 500 devil magic again to where he goes 500 every time, and imagine they win 10 games, he's getting my vote. So that was.
You know what? It's like the fatigue is going to catch up to him. He's never gotten the votes for doing it, so it's like the fatigue's come back around.
Oh, you're right.
It's possible.
You're right.
I like those picks. If a coordinator could win this one, I promise you Kellen Moore will win it. But
Ben Johnson has some words for you.
Oh, I guess. But it's not like he's under a bad head coach, so you can have that take and shove it up your ass because that was dumb. Other good guys who could get this award. Steichen, who was in the running last year, arguably should have won it with what he did with the backup quarterback and all that. Stefanski, of course.
Sleepy, Antonio Pierce.
Sleepy. Him and Harbaugh, yeah. Him and Harbaugh. Because it depends if they can squeak into that playoff spot. But with the way the Chargers team is built and the way the quarterback room is built in Vegas, I'm not exactly sure it's possible. But if they did, that would just prove, of course. But I guess that moves us to our playoff, our playoff standing and Super Bowl predictions. I guess we can start with our standings predictions. I can go first, or we can start with the AFC. In the AFC, my division winners in order are Chiefs, Ravens, Dolphins, Jags. Excuse me, let's say that one more time. Division winners in order is Chiefs, Ravens, Dolphins, Jags. And then my wild card teams are Texans, Bengals, and Bills. Unfortunately, yes, some teams are going to have to bite the dust. This conference is nuts. So the Jets bite the dust. The Colts bite the dust. The Browns, Steelers. Yeah, some teams just have to bite the dust for me.
Nice.
Either of y'all got y'all standings, or at least who y'all think your division winners and wild cards are? Yeah.
I can say mine.
Go ahead.
I think the AFC East will be won by the New York Jets.
Okay.
AFC North by the Baltimore Ravens. AFC South by the Houston Texans, and the AFC West by the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm still kind of casual-ish. Can the wild cards? You pick 4 wild cards, right?
It's 3.
3 wild cards. Okay.
Yep.
So my 3 wild card teams are the Dolphins, the Bengals, and
the Browns. Gotta bite the dust.
The Browns.
Who? The Browns. Okay. So you have the AFC North still cracking 3 teams, which isn't impossible.
Yeah. Very unlikely, I know, but I think they're good.
I wouldn't even say it's unlikely. Like I have most people don't even have the Jags making the playoffs. I have them winning their division, which screws up my entire standings. But that's just how I feel. They got the coach, quarterback combo. I was maybe a little biased. I'm hype. I got my NFL Plus premium, so I was watching their all 22. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence is coming different this year. Danny, you want to give your AFC standings?
Yeah, I can. So I have none other than the Chiefs at the 1 seed, the Ravens at the 2 seed, the 3 seed is the New York Jets. The 4th seed is the Houston Texans. Here's where it gets a little bit freaky. The 5 seed is the Miami Dolphins. The 6th seed is the Cincinnati Bengals, and the 7th seed is none other than the Buffalo Bills.
Okay. Respect to you. I don't think that's wild at all. I think that looks pretty good. I mean, I'll have the Jets in the playoffs, but like, it wouldn't shock me if they won a division or anything. Yeah. I just thought you were gonna say the Steelers with the 7. I'm like, Danny, you're gonna have to log off for me, man. Not saying it's not impossible they can make the playoffs. It's just, coming from you, it doesn't seem like your whole heart's into it if you were to do it.
Do I pick them to make the playoffs? No. Should I? I'm a Steelers fan.
When Justin Fields takes over week 6, and
this isn't a Steelers podcast. This is us trying to prove that we know ball. You picking the Steelers would set us back a couple years.
And then, did you do the NFC?
Of course, I did the NFC.
And then let me do the NFC. So I have the Lions at the 1 seed.
Oh wait, I didn't say the NFC yet, but you can start us off with the NFC.
I get the Lions at the 1 seed. I got the Niners at the 2 seed. I got the Eagles at the 3 seed. The Falcons at the 4 seed. Okay, I know it might be a little counterintuitive to. Actually, hell with that. I'm sticking with it. I got the Cowboys at the 5 seed. The Bears at the 6 seed. And the Rams at the 7 seed. And the Green Bay Packers being left on the outside.
Interesting. Okay. I can go with mine next. I just have mine right in front of me. I
will say this is me wholeheartedly. I think the Packers will make the playoffs, but I had to stick with my guns. I did say the Packers won't make the playoffs because of when we were doing the NFC North. So, unfortunately.
No, I mean, things change in the offseason, just like what I'm about to say with mine. I was with you on the bandwagon of Lions 1 seed, but the Niners just figured out Trent Williams. Debo just restructured his contract. Brandon Ayuk's back. There's no reason this team shouldn't get the 1 seed again, so I'm going to put them at the 1 seed with the Lions at the 2 seed, not far behind. I have the Eagles at the 3 seed. I have the Bucks at the 4 seed. I'm not mad at you. Whoever you put at the 4 seed, just know that division's only getting 1 team. Cowboys at the 5 seed. I have the Packers at the 6 seed. Bears at the 7 seed. With the Seahawks right outside the bubble. And I guess the Falcons will probably be right outside the bubble too. But yeah, that's what my stuff's looking like. Chris, what is your NFC bracket, NFC standings looking like?
Okay, NFC East winners are none other than Tone's Philadelphia Eagles. The NFC North winners are none other than the Amon-Ra St. Brown-led Detroit Lions. NFC South winners are Kirk O'Chain's Bijan Robinson and friends, the Atlanta Falcons. And the NFC West winners are the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the 3 wildcard teams will come from that will be the Chicago Bears, the Dallas Cowboys, and just for some fun, because I love a good shakeup, the Arizona Cardinals.
Banking on the potential defense putting it together. I mean, it's not bad.
I'm banking on Kai Speed 1, K1 Speed, and Maserati Marv, 2 elite nicknames that'll carry the Cardinals to playoff berth.
Hey, look, you won't hear no complaints from me or Danny on that one. Like we're rooting for that. But
we will say the Saints and Giants.
I guess that leaves us with one final thing: Super Bowl matchup and prediction.
Chris, start it off.
I guess I'll go. Chris can go first. Yeah, I was going to go first because mine's boring, but
I think I'm running it back from last year. I'm almost 100% sure I picked this last year. I'm picking Ravens Lions because that's what it was supposed to be last year, and I was so close to it. I'm picking Ravens Lions again, and with the Ravens getting a Super Bowl, Lamar Jackson getting his first Super Bowl, and a Super Bowl MVP. There we go.
Nice. Danny, do you want me to go first?
You can go first. I'll end it.
I'm boring. Chiefs Niners back-to-back years. Chiefs have a three-peat. This is why I was saying I'm saving my boring picks for later because I'm sorry, my picks came out to be very anticlimactic in comparison to last year. Well, I guess last year I had the Eagles winning and they didn't win. So, yeah. Who better to go with than the best player that I've ever witnessed with my own eyes in Patrick Mahomes beating the Niners again, because the Niners losing the Super Bowl again would be funny. And then Brock Purdy, they'd have to pay him, and yeah, that would be a whole mess. So that's my pick. Mahomes Super Bowl MVP. Duh.
I was talking about it a little bit earlier this episode. I was kind of up in the air, honestly, with my Super Bowl pick. I'm going to go with a little bold one, actually. I'm going to go with the Houston Texans beating the Philadelphia Eagles.
You said the Texans beating the Eagles?
Yep.
I had something completely... I don't know why I thought you had a different pick in your head, so I had to write it down. But
I did.
Hey, I'm not.
I did.
I'm definitely. Yeah, you had Chiefs Lions, right?
No.
Hey, bro. Oh, that wasn't. Oh, I don't know why. I must have. I don't know. Must be having the wrong guy. Yeah, Texans Eagles could be fun. That could be.
I
fun,
had Ravens.
Sure.
I had Ravens. 49ers in my head.
Okay. Yeah, but Texans Eagles is easily the most.
Ooh, that would be
fun of these picks.
And honestly, it's very possible. It's two teams who have an elite quarterback, who have weapons on offense, who have
probably arguably the two best receiver rooms in the NFL.
And I'll tell you something. What the most fun part is, it's going to be DeMeco Ryans ex-Eagle versus the Eagles.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that has a.
And Saquon Barkley making Cowboys fans and Giants fans cry at the same time because he's on the Eagles in the Super Bowl. I'll be here for that.
Yeah,
I'll be here for that. A lot of tears.
I would be hurt personally if the Eagles lose that game, but I'd be happy seeing whoever win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that would just be a stellar. So of course, I can still lose in that situation. Let me not put it that I'm going to be hurt if Jalen Hurts goes out there and loses again. But the Texans are definitely built. They could win a Super Bowl this year. I know I don't have them winning the division, but that's more about how I feel about Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars than the Houston Texans.
Man, they could go out there and lose the division and win the Super Bowl.
Hey, I want to put it past them. There are several teams I think that could do that. I think the Texans could do it. I think the Bengals could do it. Cowboys,
I think the Bears could do that.
Packers could do it. I don't know. Keenan Allen's fat, so the Bears not just yet. But
I'll tell you something.
Keenan Allen got to get on Ozempic.
Depending on how the defense responds, the Rams.
The Rams defense is gonna suck, dude. I'm so sorry. The offense is definitely built for it, dude. The defense sucks. It's better than the Cardinals defense, but dude, their defense sucks.
But if I were to pick one team that does not win a division to win Super Bowl, it's the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. I mean, I have them winning the division, so I guess I can't say that. But I guess my pick would probably be the Texans because I don't have them winning the division.
Sorry.
But or if I had to go with one that's not a hot take because the Texans are a division winner on most sides, I'd probably say Bengals then. Sure. Even the Bengals could probably. The Bengals are they are capable of taking the division away from the Ravens. It is possible. Would it take a Lamar injury? Probably, but that's also not
Joe Burrow best season of career.
But hey, which again is not entirely impossible. Me would say, but
I don't know.
That's
I don't
everything
like Mike at tight end for them.
But that's everything we have for today's episode. Again, reminder: leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're listening to this on audio platforms, leave a 5-star like and review, of course. Anything to say before we get on out of here?
Learn how to hit the gritty, Mike Gesicki.
Also, and there is A'ja Wilson on TV tonight. She will be the best basketball player in the world, men or women's. I've said that multiple times, and I will continue to say it. She will be on TV tonight. So if y'all have not watched, today's your chance.
Yeah. Well, by the time this comes out, you'll have to be watching highlights.
Okay, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah. All good. Ain't nothing wrong going back and watching a little bit of A'ja Wilson highlights. But she's so fundamental. It's sneaky puts me to sleep. But
is A'ja Wilson about to be the Tavon Austin of the WNBA?
Unfortunately, no. A'ja Wilson's going to go down as the Michael Jordan of the WNBA. Unfortunately,
yes. I don't know if anybody. I don't know who has a Tavon Austin level basketball tape.
I can tell you,
John Wall.
Oh, I would say Only reason I think John Wall was better in the NBA, so I would say Austin Rivers. His high school mixtape.
I'm about to go off right now. Like
that Winter Park
so
thing?
iconic.
Oh my god!
You know who's another good one who had an elite tape?
Akil
Michael
Carr?
Porter Jr.
Oh, okay.
Michael Porter Jr. was ridiculous.
Jonte Porter?
Brother? Question.
You know
How
what's
did
funny?
Michael Porter not get indicted? You're the brother of the guy gambling on games. He gambled on Nuggets games too. Thoughts?
Michael Porter Jr., you know, he comes to head sometimes when I watch Cooper Flagg's mixtapes. Not defensively, but their jump shots are like a little
Chris.
similar. I think Cooper brings it back a little more, but
Yeah.
Suspicious that Michael Porter Jr. never hits the over on his assist lines.
Yeah, it's literally the most free money. Take it, his assist under 3, dude.
yeah, I would say I don't know. That's not about helping his brother. That's just his love for the game. I promise.
That's Michael Porter's
I know.
next
Suspicious
pass
though.
mentality.
It ain't suspicious at all.
Hey, Jonte
One of them
Porter-
they might be tied to Temple. Because remember Temple got caught shaving points?
Hey,
They didn't get caught shaving points.
the one game Michael Porter had 4 assists. Jonte Porter placed a $15,000 bet on it. Let's do some investigation on that.
He knows his brother's game. What can he say? But from AP New Freezer, coached by Migos DC Comics, thank you guys for tuning in. Jalen Hurts is winning MVP, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Jay Pookie.